今年はロングリリーフを任され大谷選手の後も安定した投球を見せているジャスティン・ロブレスキ投手。試合前キルステン・ワトソンさんからインタビューを受け、大谷選手の後を投げることや今年のポストシーズンに向けた思いを語ってくれました。
Well, Justin, we have seen you in different roles with this team, but of course more recently when you were called back up, it's really been as a length guy out of the bullpen. So when it comes to, making sure that you're available, eating up innings, we saw you behind Shohei Ohtani the other day. What do you think has just been the key for you of being readily available, but also still maintaining your build-up?
Yeah, I think for me it's just kind of getting with Trav and Yav and just kind of figuring out like off the field what I need to do, and then the training staff, of course, like figuring out how can we modify what I did when I was starting to make it to where I can still kind of have that same sort of workload available out of the bullpen. And it's, I've been kind of learning on the fly and kind of talking with some guys in the bullpen and talking with, again, like training staff and everybody else. But no, it hasn't been too bad. I've made some adjustments to my routine, but kept it, as similar as I can, and it's been, thankfully not as crazy of a transition as I thought it would be. So it's been good.
What is it like just playing behind Shohei Ohtani, like we saw the other day?
Yeah, it's different for sure. I think for me it just comes down to I'm doing the same thing. It's not like I'm doing anything different regardless of who I'm pitching after. So it was cool to see him obviously go out there and dominate. He's got unbelievable stuff. He's a really good pitcher and obviously a really good hitter too. So it's fun to watch. But when it's my time to work and go in there, I'm doing the same thing regardless of when it is in the game or who I come after.
When you debuted, it was in July, and right now we are kind of at that point where we're seeing a lot of guys getting different opportunities, whether it was Justin Dean, who was called up yesterday, we saw Dalton Rushing earlier this year, things like that. Alex Freeland, what is it like just kind of seeing this group of you all getting this opportunity at the big league level?
Yeah, it's been obviously pretty cool. I'm friends with obviously all those guys after playing with them, and yeah, super happy for JD coming up here. He's a great dude, great guy to be around, so I was super happy for him. I know he's been grinding, so it's pretty cool to see him up here, and same with Free and Rush, same deal. It's just cool to see everybody kind of getting their opportunities and kind of, making the most of them and doing their thing. It's been really cool.
Yeah, it's crazy to think that there's less than 50 games left of the regular season. When you look at just how important these next few months are for the group, for yourself, has there been any advice, or what has just kind of been your approach to kind of closing out the regular season on a high note, obviously with the goals of looking to win the division and have a good postseason run?
Yeah, obviously, the goals are always to like you said, win the division, do all these crazy things, but I think at the end of the day, like what I've noticed about, professional baseball and just kind of in being around for a decent amount of time now, obviously not as much as some of these guys, but kind of understanding what makes guys good and what kind of makes teams good. And I think it's just treating every game, the same as much as you can. Obviously it's harder when, as the magnitude of the games gets bigger, and I'm excited to kind of finally be a part of that and kind of feel the energy of those games and everything else. But I think, if you can keep it the same, keep your focus the same, I think for me it's kind of similar to like starting versus being out of the bullpen, like regardless of what the situation is, or in this case what the game is. I think just trying to treat them all like, obviously we want to win every game, and there's no difference between that and a bigger game. So it's, obviously I'm excited to experience it and be a part of it, but it's super cool, and yeah, just kind of treat them all the same.
With how your stuff is playing right now, do you feel like you're just kind of in a spot where you're feeling the consistency, you're feeling the execution, and in a really good spot kind of at the right time?
For sure. Obviously there's, timing is a big part of kind of how professional baseball works, and, sometimes, it doesn't line up, sometimes it does line up, but, I felt like coming off the back half of last year, I was really throwing the ball well, and kind of didn't really get to show people that. I think I was throwing the ball really well during the whole like stay hot stuff and everything else. But I'm obviously grateful that I'm throwing the ball well right now, but I think I've done a lot of hard work to try and, make these changes and kind of get myself in a spot where my bad ones get better, and I think that's kind of what I've noticed is like the ones that I'm not as happy with are getting better, which is a good sign.
As we look towards October, I know we still have time, but I have to imagine you are someone who you've worked so hard in your career and you seem to be goal-oriented. Is there something that you Obviously, with making postseason rosters, things like that, just is that a goal of yours? And with the stuff that you've been showing and how you can provide to the bullpen?
Yeah, for sure. I think, setting out this year, that was kind of one of my goals is wanting to be on that postseason roster. And obviously, it's a tough team to kind of get in that fold. But again, I think for me, it's just a matter of let's control what I can, which is, come to the ballpark every day, ready to work, ready to go in the game when I'm called upon, and just kind of making sure I'm sticking to what my process is. And, I think if I do all that right, the results will come. So I think that's just kind of what the focus needs to be for me. So I think, I'd love to make the postseason roster. Obviously, I want to be a part of it. I want to, be on the field when we win a World Series or whatever. I think that'd be pretty cool. So, obviously that's a goal of mine.
Yeah. Well, Justin, everything happens for a reason. There's a reason you are here right now. You've worked so hard to be here. Congratulations again on everything, and best of luck with your next outing. We'll look forward to seeing you on that mound.
Thank you so much.
先発ローテ入りは現状のメンバーでは難しい状況ですが、ロングリリーフという重要な役割を任されその期待にしっかり応える投球を見せています。ポストシーズンでもロースター入りして活躍してほしいです。これからも安定した投球に期待します。